Since the Jupiter has been unboxed and set up, it was time to actually put it to the test. In partial collaboration with Sunlu, I was able to print out the Rivers of Blood katana from Elden Ring with about 3 kilograms of resin. 1 kilogram was from Sunlu, allowing me to try out their solid gray standard resin. It came packaged wonderfully and definitely mitigated the chances of being damaged in transit thanks to the thicker blister packaging surrounding the bottle. The instructions for the resin are clearly printed on the front of the bottle, making it easy to dial in your printer for it. For the standard gray on a monochrome LCD printer, it states to use it within a year, which was easy as it's already gone, 2 to 4 second exposure time, with 10 to 60 seconds bottom exposure, and 5 bottom layers. And for a color screen, it states 4 to 15 seconds normal exposure time, 20 to 80 seconds bottom exposure, and 5 bottom layers. As with all resins, store away from sunlight and preferably keep it in a cool and dry place. When it comes to filling your vat, you'll need to remove the foil seal at the top and then simply pour it in. If you pour it in with the hole at the top and the rest of the bottle underneath, you'll mitigate air bubbles from forming as you pour, which will help you not spill it. Fun little tip I've learned over the years doing oil changes on cars. The pieces I used Sunlu's resin for was for the handle, pommel, and hilt, essentially everything that didn't need to be translucent red. They do also have a translucent red resin, but I'd already bought a different resin for this project and started it before they reached out and asked if I wanted to try out their resin. Being a fan of Sunlu already, if that wasn't obvious by my S8 videos that I've put out, I obviously said yes. And their resin didn't disappoint, it prints absolutely beautifully and buttery smooth. The translucent red I used wasn't too bad to work with, but it felt a little different than the standard gray resin from Sunlu, but that could just be because one was translucent and one was opaque, so it could have different properties. If you recall from my unboxing video of the Jupiter, I mentioned that I about gassed myself out with the fumes from the resin I was using. That was with the translucent red that I used from Anycubic. This resin from Sunlu actually has notably less fumes. Don't inhale it from the bottle or anything, that's a bad idea. But it's better than the other resin I used. The finish that we see here is after I epoxied together the 2 handle parts and sanded away the excess epoxy. Even with sanding with 220 and 400 grit sandpapers, the resin looks beautiful and it's sanded effortlessly. I only sanded about an inch in either direction from the joint that you can see there, and it looks no different than the rest of the handle. The hilt there has already been primed and painted and had no issues with adhesion. I've read some reports of other resins having adhesion issues, but Sunlu's did not. When it comes to the translucent red blade, that was a labor of love for me. Had to epoxy these 6 blade pieces together, remove excess epoxy, fill minor gaps with red resin, UV pen to cure said resin, sand that away, and then sand those areas up to 400 grit sandpaper. I then used Rust-Oleum 2X clear coat to coat the whole blade with 3 coats to bring out the beautiful sheen. But that's all for today, just a quick and fun video showing off a project I was excited to take on. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like the content I'm putting out, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all new content as it comes out. Take care.